Yesterday I brought some more of these mini mating nukes back from storage and painted them. I've been trying to put something unique on each front to hopefully help the queens recognize them a little bit better coming back from mating. Ran out of ideas for shapes and stuff, so I just started putting the alphabet. And so hopefully I'll be teaching these queen bees the alphabet and how to make money. Yeah. Well, today I am getting ready for beekeeping, and I'm going to be starting the day going out to the Great Bay Apiary. Pinellas Beekeepers Association is doing a teaching and education day. I'm going to be helping out with that. Hopefully have some new people out wanting to learn about bees. And then I'm going out to the Sweetwater Farm property, and my plan is to get a couple cell builder colonies set up. Usually I do those with a queen right colony and have her up over a double screen with a bunch of young bees and feed frames on the bottom of a double. But I think for this first round I'm just going to set up 2 queenless cell building colonies, and so my plan is just to put a bunch of capped brood and bees into singles with a lot of feed, and get a bunch of nurse bees ready. In about 10 days I plan to start grafting, so we'll see how that goes. I'm getting ready to set up 2 cell builder colonies in these boxes out of this yard, and what I want in here is a lot of young nurse bees that are going to make royal jelly and draw out wax, and I want a lot of feed on here as well with pollen. So I'm going to be going through these colonies and pulling frames of capped brood that's getting ready to emerge, and also I'm trying to get a lot of nurse bees in these boxes, and then in about 10 days or so I'm going to start grafting into them. So I'm going to start by pulling brood frames, looking for the queen, and then shaking bees off those frames into this super above an excluder, and then using a smoker to push the bees down. I'm using this just in case I accidentally shake a queen. I'll be able to see her and then get her back in her box. I do not want a queen in these cell building colonies. So I'm just going into colonies that look pretty strong. And right now I'm looking for frames of capped brood primarily. A lot of feed in this colony. See how the brood's looking. Some capped brood there, but mostly eggs. I'm looking for the queen. If I can find her, it'll make this process easier. Don't see her. There we go. A lot of capped brood there. That's what I'm looking for. Looking for the queen. This queen should be marked in here, which will help me. I don't see her, so I'm gonna take this. Bring it over here. All right. So now I'm going to look one more time for the queen. I do not see her. I'm going to shake these bees down. And then put this brood over here. And I'll keep doing that. I want about 7 frames of capped brood and 2 frames of pollen and feed in each one of these boxes. So then I'm just gonna look here. Now these bees are spread out, make sure the queen's not in there. She's not, and keep going. All right, in this one I found the queen. So I'm gonna put her in a clip, put her aside, and then I can be sure I don't have the queen going into the cell starting colony. So now I have 7 frames of capped brood in this box, and now I'm looking for 2 frames like this and get some sunlight on here. But this is a feed frame, has some feed but also a lot of pollen, and that's what I'm looking for, is that pollen. And that's going to allow these nurse bees to make a lot of royal jelly to feed these queen cells. Once again, shake that above the excluder, make sure I don't have the queen on here. Put that in, and then I'm going to find one more pollen frame like that. This one's ready. I got 7 frames of brood, 2 frames of feed with pollen. And these bees I shook out, I'm looking one more time, make sure the queen's not in there. And then I'm going to add these bees over here and then give it a feed bucket. So now I'm just smoking these bees down. They're going to smell the brood frames and get going through the excluder. Now I'll do one last check to make sure I don't have a queen up here. Looking good. Now I already have some bees down here that went through the excluder. So I'm just going to do the same process and get this one loaded up with 7 frames of brood, 2 frames of feed and pollen. I have both of these cell builder colonies made up. And by making these in the same yard where I took the bees from, all the older bees are going to fly back to their colonies, leaving just the younger nurse bees to care for this brood. And with so much capped brood, within a week or so, most of that's going to be hatched out. So both these boxes should just be overflowing with young nurse bees. I'm going to put feed buckets on them now, and so they should be really ready to make a lot of queen cells. In about 10 days I'll be grafting, and I'm going to come back in a week and look through these really carefully, and I'm going to tear down any emergency queen cells that have been made. And also I want to double check for eggs, make sure a queen didn't get in there accidentally, and just make sure I'm ready to go when grafting day comes. I just put feed buckets on these so they will be well fed and looking good. I'm excited to come back in a week and check up on them. And really the purpose of making them like this with all that capped brood is when I'm raising queen cells, I want as many young nurse bees as I can have in the box. It's the young nurse bees that actually produce the royal jelly to feed the larva, and it's the young nurse bees that are best at producing wax to draw out those cells. And so I want a box full of young nurse bees that are well fed, that don't have a queen. They're just really wanting to make queen cells, and I'm able to get queen cells with a lot better quality of feed, a lot more royal jelly, nice big cells, and also I'm able to get more of them if I get a cell builder colony set up right. This isn't the only method I use, it's just one method of a few that I use to get queen cells made, but it is an effective method when it's set up right. So stay tuned, we'll be coming back and seeing how the progression goes.